So, uh, I didn't post a video yesterday because I was in Chicago. I was gonna post a video when we got to our motel room, but it didn't work for some reason. So, now we're back home. Obviously, I'm in the house. Um, so I'm gonna, put in the clips that I took from from our trip. I went with Mima Joe and Papa Al, and then I'll post another video of Papa Al telling the story about why the John Hancock building is built where it's at and not on the other end of the block. And yeah, you can probably see the tablet reflecting in my glasses. That's what all that purple. For some reason, the light reflects purple on my glasses. But anyway, so I guess I can tell you some highlights of our trip to Chicago. So, when I was something that caught me off guard, we went to a place called Italy. It sounds like Italy. It's Italy, and there the guy at the counter before we went and ate. You can eat there, and it's like you can buy all this Italian food. It's like it. You could go there and it be your only grocery store. I mean, like if that's what you wanted to eat, you could. I mean, they sell milk and cheese and pasta. And I think I even saw cereal. I mean, they sell like normal food there. It's just different normal food than like what you would see typically at like Kmart or, well, not Kmart. They don't have. About try like Walmart or something like that. But regardless of where you'd go, the guy at the front desk when we went to eat, he goes, "Oh man, I love your hat." He was real enthusiastic about it. I had this hat on. This Yellow Express Lane Service, the trucking firm Yellow, which I believe is now YRC, but this is an old hat. But anyway, it just caught me so off guard. Out of all the hats I would have worn, that somebody would have told me, "I love your hat," about this hat. So I said thanks, like it. Then as I was walking to our seat, we sat up by the. It's like sitting at a bar, but like you're sitting facing the cooks. You can see them make your food and stuff. It was pretty cool. Man, those guys have to work fast. But I'll put in some pictures, and I guess I can probably narrate the pictures too. That way you'll know what you're looking at. But it was just crazy, like how fast the cooks worked. But as I was walking to my seat, it dawned on me what hat I had on, because I didn't really think about it. I had the hat on all day. And I was like, okay, why did that, out of all the hats, why this hat? But I'm not complaining. I mean, I like compliments. And then we went in Neiman Marcus, which is a very, very expensive, I don't know what you'd call it, like a mall type of thing. Like a store you'd find in the mall. They sell like clothes and stuff. But I was walking through, and they sell like makeup and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, we were just kind of walking through there, and this guy says, "I love your boots, man," because I always wear my cowboy boots. And he was one of the guys that sells clothes and stuff in there. This is my boot. Just old. They're kind of wore out now, but just an old boot. But he says, "Man, I love your boots." And it really surprised me that somebody that worked in a shop like that would like my old worn out cowboy boots. But he did. So two things that caught me off guard was my hat, which I like my hat, but it caught me off guard that somebody would actually say, "Oh man, that hat's awesome," but he was very enthusiastic. "I love your hat." And so was the guy with the boots. He goes, nice boots, dude," is what he said. Or "I like your boots, dude," or something like that. But the third thing was our doorman at the motel we stayed at. We stayed at the Raffaello, and the doorman says, "I like your watch. Your watch is awesome." Like more enthusiastic than that. But he's like, "I like your watch. That's awesome." And he says, "What is it?" And I told him, "It's just a Timex watch. It's nothing." I know this is upside down for you guys, but it's nothing really like special. It's just a Timex watch. I got it at Walmart, but he thought it was cool. I think he said he liked it because it was the gold color or something. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of nice that he thought that my watch was cool, because it's not a very expensive watch. It's like $20 or something. It's waterproof. It's a nice watch, but I don't really think it's like super duper awesome. Although I like it. It keeps good time. So I made a little list here so I don't forget anything. So I was talking about the fact that we went to Neiman Marcus. I said that back. I always say that backwards. Neiman Marcus. I'm even looking at it. So after we left Neiman Marcus, we none of this is going to be in order. I just wrote down things so that I wouldn't forget, and I'm really bad at telling things in order, in the order that they happened, especially if they're like 2 days later. But anyway, we went to a couple different stores. We went in the Ralph Lauren store. Excuse me. We only walked through the first 2 floors of it, but it was a pretty nice store. Very ornate, and then of course I liked a lot of the stuff they had in there. I just couldn't really afford any of it. I have a few Ralph Lauren shirts, but I got those at Goodwill. I can't see paying that much for a shirt. It's like people that pay $100 for a pair of jeans. I just don't understand that. That's why most of my stuff comes from Rural King or Goodwill. But anyway, I'm trying to think of the other stores we went to. I didn't write them all down, but we went to the Ralph Lauren and Neiman Marcus. We walked past a Rolex store, the real expensive watches. And I didn't write this down, but when we were eating the next day, I saw a Rolls-Royce SUV, and I haven't done any research yet to find out what that model is called. I'd never seen one before. But I was sitting there at Wild Berries eating my crappy pancakes, and the guy, I looked over, and I was like, well, that's kind of an odd-looking vehicle. And then I noticed the center caps in the center of the wheel, like what's supposed to be right here. They weren't spinning, and I thought, well, that's kind of typical of a Rolls-Royce for the center caps to not spin. And, well, as it turns out, that was a Rolls-Royce SUV, which I had never seen before. And I get the Auto Week magazine and, a bunch of the different car magazines, but I hadn't seen anything about it. And bear with me, I'm working with a new tablet, so that's why I keep moving the camera around. But, anyways, saw that. I was talking about Wild Berries. We were gonna go somewhere, it was pretty far up north Chicago, but, my grandma didn't want to go there, so we didn't go. Instead, the guy at the front desk at the Raffaello, he says something about a good breakfast place is Wild Berries. But right on the door at Wild Berries, it says pancakes and cafe. So I assumed, okay, these are going to be really good pancakes. These were the crappiest, cheapest pancakes I'd ever had in my life. McDonald's makes better pancakes than these guys. I mean, they were horrible. But, you know, me, mom, and papa's stuff was good. My grandparents, their food was good. So I guess that's good for them. After that, we went to the farmer's market and saw some. Whoa! About dropped the camera. We saw some neat stuff. Saw a. Well, there was a woman that was sitting over kind of away from everything. She was painting a picture of the farmer's market, which was pretty cool. Had all the tents and everything. There was somebody selling popcorn, but it was still on the ear. It was still on the cob, like a regular ear of corn, but it was popcorn, so the kernels were a lot smaller. Then we saw a lady selling different types of mushrooms. Some of them I'd never seen before. Of course, I don't pay that much attention to mushrooms when I'm at the store. But, there was foods of all kinds. You had your typical blueberries and bananas and stuff, but then you had some different stuff too, like the popcorn. Let's see. Oh, we drove past the, I don't want to call it the wrong name. What's this say? Soldiers. We drove by the Soldiers Field. That's the one that looks like a flying saucer landed on top of it, or a UFO, or whatever you want to call it. But then we also went to Kaminsky Park, where the White Sox play. Of course, we drove past Wrigley Field, where the Cubs play. We went up in the John Hancock building and did the 360, on the observatory deck, which is just a floor, and you can see literally 360. You can see everywhere. They say you can see four states from there. Of course, since you can't tell where one state ends and the other begins, it's kind of hard to tell what states you're seeing. But you got a beautiful view of the city and the lake, and it's very pretty. If you're into that, and I couldn't live in the big city all the time, but I really enjoy, like going there for a trip, going to the big city. It just all the tall buildings and the bright lights, in the during the night. It's a different atmosphere, I guess, than living out in the country. And I love living out in the country. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But it's exciting for me. It's very exciting to go to the big city every once in a while. So I always enjoy going to Chicago. We went. The main reason we went to Chicago, okay, we were gonna go see. They had 20 of the cows on parade that they had back a few years ago. They had 20 of those there. In the where the water. I don't say water tower. It wasn't water tower place, but the water. Water tower. That's all I can think of. But whatever. Sorry, my lip itches right here. The water tower place. That's not what it's called, but the water tower. I'll just say water tower. It's got a little park, like benches and trees and stuff. Waterworks. That's what it was. Waterworks. That's what I was gonna say originally, and that didn't sound right. But that's where they were. They were in the grass, around the waterworks, and they were cool. My favorite, which I can't think of what it was called right now. I didn't write down the name of the cow, but I like the cow that had all the different scenes from the city on it. I also like the cow that was painted up like the city bus. And there's another one I liked, and it was called Holy Cow. It had holes in it and great big glasses on it. We drove past two of the houses that Papa Al lived in when he lived in Chicago. and one of them's worth like $1 million or $2 million now. I mean, it was crazy. When he lived there, he redid the inside, renovated the inside of it, and he was one of the first people in that area that he was in. He was one of the first people to do that, and it encouraged a lot of other people to do that. And so that was pretty cool to see where he used to live, because I hear him talk about it a lot. And then he also lived in Marina City, which are the two cylinder buildings that from a distance they look like a corn cob. And him and his buddy lived there. His buddy's name was Earl, and he and Earl would go up to the top of Marina City. That's what the building's called, Marina City. And Google, it's a very interesting building. But so they went to the top of Marina City with water balloons, and they'd drop them down, and they'd hit, just the sidewalk, and from up there, it'd leave this little tiny spot on the sidewalk. Or they'd hit the top of the bus, they'd drop them on top of the bus, and of course it would just make this huge, loud noise inside the bus. And Earl said that the bus driver would get out of the bus and, look around like, who did that? But of course he never did. They never did get in trouble for it, because nobody ever knew who it was. So we saw the cows, but the first thing we did when we got to Chicago was, well, even though Papa's a native of Chicago, we kind of got lost going out to Meigs Field. Meigs Field used to be an airport. The air traffic control tower is still there. But what else is there, at the moment anyway, temporarily, is the Hamilton exhibit, about Alexander Hamilton. And it's an exhibit. It tells about him. It has some stuff, about the play. There's that play or musical or whatever you want to call it about Alexander Hamilton, but the main focus is about his life. Like the history of him more than about the play. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I like history, so I thought that was cool. And that building that they built, even though it's a great big building, was a temporary building. And you could tell, like, when you walk back to, like, the bathroom and stuff, it was kind of like the walls were plywood, and, the floor would kind of creak under you, It was a nicely made temporary building, I guess is how I would describe it. But it was in the middle of Meigs Field, and that was kind of cool to be walking where used to be an airport. And we took the trolley there from where we parked, and man, the parking meter was crazy. It's not the old style parking meter. You drop in your quarters and walk away. This is put in your license plate number, select what state you're from, stick your credit card in the slot. It's sorry, my lip itches a little bit. It's a high-tech parking meter, which I don't think it needs to be that high-tech, but it is. So then we took the trolley from there, and that was pretty cool. We have trolleys all over Kokomo, but I'd never been on one before. So the trolleys they had there were, most of them around the Hamilton exhibit, were red and green, just like our trolleys here in Kokomo, and the inside was very, very identical to the trolleys in Kokomo, except for the ones in Chicago have a little cutout spot, where like you're not supposed to, but you could stick your arm out the side of the trolley. Kind of like some of the train cars, they have that cutout spot where it's open, and you can, kind of feel like you're in an open vehicle instead of a closed bus. We were, and speaking of buses, let me finish about the trolley first. The trolleys were cool. You know, they have the wooden benches in them like a park bench. And I saw the Ford logo on the steering wheel, and then I noticed the little Ford badge on the down by the wheel well. It's the only place that you would ever know who they are made by, which I was always curious to know who made the chassis for them. Somebody else builds the bodies for them. But anyway, we also, I don't have what the tour was called, but we were going to take a double-decker bus tour through Chicago, but that was going to cost like $107, and so we decided Papa knows just as much about Chicago as the bus guy, so we just had Papa drive us around. That was a lot easier. Let's see. I guess I want to tell you more about the John Hancock building. So the John Hancock building, we went up in that, and it goes up like 2 floors per second, and it goes 20 miles an hour. So you can feel that you're going up when you're in that elevator. Of course, it's a lot better than taking 1,000 and some steps, you know? Let's see. What do I want to say about it? Like, I told you about the beautiful view. They had a Lego, like about a 6-foot tall Lego structure of the John Hancock building, inside, and it had like 22,000 Lego pieces in it, and it was pretty cool. They had this thing called a lift, and not a lift, a tilt. It was tilt, and it tilts out kind of like that, you know, and, you know, I think you pay extra for it, but it tilts out, you know, and you're looking out over the edge of the, you know, the building. That wasn't our thing, so we didn't do that. And I guess that's what I was going to tell you, was about that Lego thing. I told you about pretty much everything on my notes. Oh, I don't want to forget this, though. This was cool. So I told you about eating at wild berries and going to the farmer's market and all that. Well, after that, Papa Al drove us around, and we went to look at some of the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings, or houses, I should say. These houses are incredible. I mean, they're really cool looking houses. My favorite one, I can't remember the name of, but I mean, I'll show it when I do the photo video. I'm going to do the photo video a different day, so that if I don't know the name of one of the buildings, Papa Al will probably know the name of the building, and he can help me out on it, you know. So, anyway, we looked at some Frank Lloyd Wright buildings, and that was cool. We also saw an old bus. On our way there, we saw an old bus that had been converted into a camper. It was cool. It was an old school bus, but I mean, it was cool. It was like not a Greyhound bus, but that type of bus. And Papa Al always has to go to Johnny's Italian Beef, and so we went there. I just got a hot dog, and fries. Their fries were very, very good. The hot dog was pretty good too, but the fries were, you know, there's a fine line between bad French fries and good French fries. These were good French fries. Oh yeah, we went to, Papa Al used to work at Sears, and we drove by the Sears building where he worked. Now the Sears in Kokomo, the one that they tore down, and now there's a Ross and an Aldi and all kinds of crap there. The auto center was just connected to the back of the Sears. The Sears that Papa Al worked at, well, there's a few different reasons why it was different. First off, the Sears Papa Al worked at was 2-story, 2 or 3, I think it was 2-story, and the auto center was not connected to the Sears. The auto center was actually across the street from the Sears. But unfortunately, that was one of the Sears that closed, but it closed not too long ago. yeah, not all that long ago. I wished it was open so that we could have walked around in there, and Papa Al could have said, that I managed this part of it or whatever. He was not a manager though. He was the what do you want to call that? Stock boy. Like he would stock stuff, and it was cool. He was telling me about it. He had a big smile on his face when he was telling me about it. He really enjoyed it. He really liked living in Chicago. And he likes that I enjoy being there. We also went to, I know it's a Presbyterian church. Let me figure out. The Fourth Presbyterian Church. It was founded in 1871. And, you walk in that church and you're just like, whoa. Like you can feel something very, very powerful when you walk into that church. And, you know how you're supposed to whisper in there in case someone's praying? I don't think you could talk loudly in that church. You just feel like you have to whisper. It's just such a holy place and such a peaceful, you go in there and it's quiet. You can't hear any of the cars honking or anything outside, people screaming, whatever. It's just incredible, the atmosphere inside that church, how different it is from walking around out in the city. And I have something on the back here, and I told you about that. All right, so I think I have everything. What I don't have, I guess I'll show you in when I do the picture video, which will probably be tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get this video posted tonight. I have to edit it a little bit, and then I have to put some, I'm gonna put the clips onto the end of the video, the clips about, like, this is such and such, this is our hotel room, stuff like that. Pretty cool stuff, though. Like, you'll want to see it. And I couldn't take more pictures in Italy, of like watching the cooks, because my camera was dead. Because, in the cartoons, when the tourists take pictures, it's click, 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 it's one picture after another. That's how my camera sounded the whole time we were in Chicago. Just the big buildings and just the atmosphere of being there, to me, is pretty exciting. I'm not really sure why. It just is kind of exciting. I think all you can see of me is a silhouette right now. I should have stood like this the whole time. You'll see me better now. Oh well. So, I hope you enjoy this video. And, I hope you stick around and see the end of the video. I tried to work pretty hard on it, and I will be posting a video. I told you about this in the first half of the video, but I will be posting a video that is like strictly just a story about one building. This one little old black brick building, it changed the location of where the John Hancock building is at. This little 1.5-story building changed where the 96th floor John Hancock building is. And it's told by Papa Al, who's very, very knowledgeable about Chicago, so you'll want to watch that. It's pretty cool. So, be looking for that, and I'll try to get this video posted as soon as possible. So we're here in Chicago, finally. Wow.
There are people that love it and people that absolutely hate it.
Huh. Looks like a spaceship landed on top of it.
exit pass where I should have.
You need a license plate number to continue. I guess start.
What,
Hey, put the top down. We gotta see the.
just a little, hun. I'm gonna CN 345.
Park here for 9 hours and 55 minutes, or choose a time.
Okay. What time is it?
It is. No. Well, yeah. I guess here it is noon.
But we don't know how long we'll be here.
How long do you think we'll be here?
I'd say at least 3 hours because we don't know when we're going to get in. Yeah,
Is 4 hours good?
yeah, I would think so.
4:04 p.m.
What, you put that in the window?
No, that's your receipt.
No need to display.
Oh, okay. If he's going to Hamilton, then let's...
A small, commercial but small airport for small planes,
Oh,
private,
okay.
Jets that
Oh,
closed.
there's the air traffic control tower he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said these were like runways at one time then?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, in this area.
Well, this area, yeah, these are too narrow, but.
Yeah.
Huh. What was it called?
Miggs.
Miggs?
MEIGS field.
Huh.
Boeing 727, which is a 3-engine jet,
Right.
at Museum of Science and Industry, right down the Lakeshore Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To get it there, they brought it in and landed it here,
Oh.
which would be like landing a B-52 on a postage stamp. It was one of those boom, boom, and hit the brakes.
Oh, yeah.
So, to get it into the Museum of Science and Industry, rather than trying to disassemble it.
I was gonna say, how'd they get it from here to there? But they put it on a barge?
Yep.
Huh.
This is for special events.
Yeah.
That's probably where... Can we get out here?
We continue into the parking lot.
Okay, well, we're back that way.
Oh, gotcha.
Check out the highways. Don't really got anything here.
This was our motel room in Chicago.
Right. Here, Wyatt. Do you want some paper and stationery?
Sure. Here's this motel room's a little different than most of our motel rooms, and we're up on the 9th floor. And what street is this?
Delaware.
Delaware. We're above Delaware Street, and the one over there has a pool on the roof. And the guy straight across there has a bald head. We saw him watching TV last night.
And the other street is Mies van der Rohe Street,
And that's Mies van der Rohe Street,
named after a famous architect.
named after famous architect. And this artwork's cut in half. And that pillow's really, really comfortable. I slept on this pillow all night. And that lamp doesn't work, and those plugs don't work.
And here's me,
And there's me, Mom. Got a big Samsung TV.
Do you want the room, Wyatt?
No, I'm alright. And a telephone. A Comcast thing. And a little clock. And a radio. And a thing for your iPod. And a lamp. And we got a shoe polisher. And then you can open this up and look in there.
Yeah, that's important.
That's exciting for me. Then we got a microwave. Let's turn this light on. I don't know what that light does. Got a microwave. And this little spot here where we're not quite sure what it's for. What's this? That's just a cabinet. So as far as we know, we don't have a refrigerator in here.
Here's yours.
Oh yeah. But we do have an ironing board, an iron, and a safe. And a robe. And this is the bathroom. It's it's got a humongous shower head in it. Like my whole hand fits in the part of it. There's no drawer, like no other door that goes across here. That's it. Got a little round sink. It's got these cool little glass shelves on it here. And the register cover for the vent is a whole lot bigger than the hole. And I think that's about it. That is where we're at. We're at the Raffaello Hotel.
Okay, so we're
Hey, y'all.
okay.
So you stick your key in the slot and then you push the button.
Or you won't go anywhere.
Yeah. Open sesame.
When you put the luggage in, you might want to get out a couple bottles of water. For us. Oh, you got
Half there. And,
I got a half. So we'll
yeah, and there's one inside. But yeah, I can pull another one out.
Wyatt hasn't had any water except for breakfast. Margaret, you seeing the lights?
Okay, what did we want to with the black stanchions and the all glass down here, right straight down here?
Right.
Okay. That's one of the two. The other one is sort of hidden by that other building.
Okay.
But that's one of the two Mies van der Rohe buildings.
Oh, okay.
The right straight down here, the faced like that against the drive. Okay, it's 860 and 880. Those are the two Mies van der Rohe buildings.
Talk about over here, the black
The
one?
two black
Yes,
ones.
the black uprights and the glass. Everything's all glass. Okay, those are the Mies van der Rohe buildings that he did way back in the 50s, and they were rather groundbreaking designs at that point. Concrete thing. That's the inlet for the water system.
Huh.
They draw the water for Chicago from there and pump it in through the pumping station there.
Wow.
Straight down.
There's our hotel.
Look, they've got an upstairs balcony.
Yeah, I wish we would have known that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, the door's open. You want to go inside? Let's go over and go inside.
Of course, it's only 1 o'clock, so we only get there at rain once.
Gallagher Way and all that business.
This is neat from the outside as it is the inside, Wyatt.
Really?
The building is 2-bedroom apartments in front. 2-bedroom first floor, 2-bedroom second floor, facing sort of this way. And then the back of the building is 1-bedroom apartments,
Oh.
one and one, and then a stair going down in the back.
And you live there?
Yeah.
Huh.
And look, they've got in the front. You got edge.
This is the one you lived in?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. It's for
This
sale.
is a 2-bedroom on the first floor and a 3-bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
Upstairs.
It's for sale. You could live in it again.
Yeah. Problem is, today it's 800,000.
Wow. 800,000.
Did you hear what he said the other one was worth?
Yeah. don't understand why they have people running over the rumble strip like on purpose. So I mentioned earlier about the I didn't get a video posted. Well, I just checked YouTube and apparently it posted because I have comments. You know, see you when you get back, or have fun, enjoy your trip. And I do appreciate the comments, guys. I do read all the comments, and if I feel like they need a response, I respond to them. Sometimes I just give you, a thumbs up or a have a great day or something like that. But I do really try to respond to your comments because I enjoy when people respond to my comments. So I try to respond to yours. So, yeah, so apparently that video did post, but I was unaware of that when I started making this video. So there's my blooper for the video. Some of the videos may not have sound because, well, I don't know why, but they didn't have sound. So, like the videos of looking out the window in the Raffaello motel room, they didn't have sound for some reason. And then when we're in the parking garage is under the building that's across the street from the from our motel. So that was kind of cool. Oh, and then the John Hancock building, the parking garage is a few floors up from ground level, and you drive up this, looks like a Hot Wheels track. I mean, it's this big spiral thing. You drive up that and go in. And I told Papa, hey, you should drive up that. And he said, I don't want to pay $20 to drive up that and then drive back down it. So we didn't do that. But, and in our motel room, I was saying, like, such and such guy over here, has a bald spot on the back of his head and he's watching TV. My grandpa and I were just kind of having fun, looking out the window of our motel room, because like you can see into the windows of the building across the street. It was just funny to see, what's this guy doing, or like I laid down to go to bed, all the lights were off in our motel room. Well, I laid down, I rolled over in the bed, and you know what I saw? I saw somebody across the street had a Clorox commercial on their TV. That's how bright those LED TVs are. I can see the Clorox commercial from across the street. So then I saw a garbage truck almost tear the door off an Escalade because some idiot parked it in the middle of the road instead of getting off where they had room to get off. And I don't have that on video, but I do have a video of a garbage truck and some other stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I put a lot of effort into it. Like, comment, subscribe for more, even though you're gonna finish watching this video, I hope. Some of it's kind of dorky, but I was having fun, So, stick around for the other Chicago videos, and I'll catch you in the next video.